What is up, everybody? This is ArcDraken again. Today I'm going to be doing a Vauban Prime build. Now, everybody knows how to do a Vortex build, and I'll briefly show that, but what I want to primarily focus on is the Bastille build. This right here is my Bastille build. Now, we do have another build, which is the Vortex build, which is pretty basic. The only things that I really want to highlight on right at this point, just to go over it really quickly, is the Blind Rage. I don't max out for two reasons. One, as you can see in the red, which is a little disconcerting, it's only at 100 energy. Anything less than that actually affects how much it's going to cost to throw down a Vortex. Right about now, it costs 100 energy, which in my opinion is quite a bit, especially for the Vortex. The one thing that I don't like right now with the Vortex, especially with Perpetual Vortex Augment, don't get me wrong, I love this mod just like everybody else, but if you're in a T4 survival, T3 survival, something of that nature, and you end up to a point where you're spawning your Vortex over and over and over again in the exact same location to up that duration, eventually, or every once in a while, or actually more than every once in a while, your Vortex will disappear. Now, your little bitty Pokeball type things that you throw out, that the Vortex comes out of, those things will still stack, but your Vortex will disappear. And I have a really big issue with that. I don't know when they're ever going to fix that. I mean, I've heard people talk about, I've sent so many notifications to DE about this, and it's still never been fixed. And I've seen this for the last couple of major updates, including smaller updates. So I don't really bring this very often. Obviously, you can swap out that Perpetual Vortex for anything else. I mean, you have a Power Drift mod that you can up that strength to make the Vortex stronger. Or you can throw in, I don't actually have it, but I'm pretty sure it's called like an Endurance Drift mod, and that should boost your duration. Usually around 5 or 7 seconds before it ends, I just throw down another one, and that's what I do to replace the Perpetual Vortex. Every now and again, I'll try the Perpetual Vortex to see if there's an issue, but you don't want to get stuck in a T4 survival with your friends and you're bottlenecking all those enemies, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Your Vortex disappears. Then you're all screwed. But currently, this is the build that I use for that. You can swap out the Corrosion Protection for Energy Siphon if you wish. I actually like to myself. But if you have, 2, 3 other friends that have Energy Siphon already on, I'm going to throw in a Corrosive Projection to help out that reduction in armor as opposed to more energy, because I do have the Xenoric Focus. But let's go to the main attraction, the Bastille build. This is by far my favorite build for Bastille. I have a very good reason for it, because you're seeing that strength is 55. You're like, oh no, that's not going to grab very many enemies, and you're completely right. It only grabs 6, but it does cost 53 energy. Now, 53 energy seems like a lot, but it's not, considering my power is all the way up to 563, which means I can spam this thing about 10, 11 times, completely depleting my power, but that ends up at about 66 enemies that I'm able to spawn. Now, obviously, if you're taking a Bastille build or a Vortex build, you're going to need energy pads, whether it's you or somebody else. So this is the best one for it. So I got Cunning Drift for range, Overextended for more range, negative strength, but I want that range, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. Narrow-Minded for more duration. You're going to want that Bastille to last as long as possible, because it's not going to stack like the Vortex. But it still lasts, I'm pretty sure, around 35 seconds, which is quite a while. So we got Streamline for efficiency, Stress for more range. You have to have Prime Flow. Obviously, my power is going to max out more than 563 with a maxed out Prime Flow. However, I was broke at one point, and as you can see, my capacity is 1 out of 74, which means I'm going to have to polarize this once again. I just haven't had the time for it. So Constitution for that more duration. Now, they do have an endurance mod, like I said, for what I would what I would assume would be 15, just like the power range, or power strength, or duration. But this has 28. Plus, it has a 40% faster knockdown recovery, which is amazing, especially since, Vauban's already squishy. And then, of course, prime continuity. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change my color real quick. I choose the energy black for a good reason. When you're doing something within the realm of like a T4, taking like a perpetual vortex or something of that nature, you really don't want it to end up at a point where you just can't see anything. You're blinded by your own colors. Because like green, white, any of those like vibrant colors that obviously look cool, they end up having a blinding effect when you're bottlenecking enemies. So I'm just going to choose light green. I'm going to change it back to black. You guys can do whatever you want, of course. I'm not going to play out the entire mission. I'm going to cut it short. So if you're thinking, oh, he's going to go through 5 waves on Pluto, I'm not. I have enough credits. I did a chroma build just a little bit ago, and I was getting around 150,000 per 5 waves on Pluto, which is quite a bit, if I do say so myself. I went from 23,000 to almost 8 million, and I played a total of less than 8 hours. So obviously I'm going to throw down an energy pad because this is what you're going to end up having to do pretty much anytime you're playing something. And obviously it's only going to pick up 6 enemies, but I got my little bitty dot right here. And as you can see, we got like before the stairs right there, which is quite a while, and then past the tree almost to those stairs over there, which is quite a wide radius. I'm walking over here, I have the slide once, slide twice, slide a third time, itty bitty, right there. Now it's only 6 enemies, which yeah, seems like a lot. I do have an energy siphon on, and once you have a generic lens too, you're really not going to run out of energy as soon as your generic lens goes off. As you can see, bam, 36 seconds. That's quite a while. It's almost 40 seconds. If you guys want to take out like maybe that I don't know, you can do whatever you want. If you can finagle it, be my guest. I've been finagling with Vauban for a while, but I'm just throwing bam 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 bam. So obviously I can have around 66 enemies trapped in this Bastille. If you're surrounded, you have a whole bunch of high level enemies, it's not going to matter, because your Bastille is going to be able to take care of all of them. And then it doesn't really matter. I have just my Sonic Core. But as you can see, well, let's hope. So in a minute, those enemies right in front of us are going to drop. And when they drop, they're just going to be picked up by the next Bastille build. Now, since the Bastilles were already right next to each other, see that drop? You can see him drop and then jump back up. Once 36 seconds ends, usually I throw another one down around 20 seconds, which means it's around 15 seconds apart. So if I have what I have now, 7, 6, 15. I'm looking at about, around like 15 or 20 seconds left on the Bastille. I'll throw another one. That way I don't have them all ending at 36 seconds. I have them staggered between every 15 seconds. There'll be a new one. So I get down to, wherever right here. Well, I don't have any energy. But as you can see, you don't want to like spawn all of your Bastilles at once, because in 36 seconds, they all go away. So if you stagger it to where you have 15 seconds left, you'll throw it down, and then instead of 36 seconds left, instead of 15 seconds left on all of them, you'll have another 20 seconds, and then another 20 seconds. As you have that buffer, it gives you a little bit of time for you to recharge your energy, whether it's with your generic lens for energy or your energy siphon. If you don't have a generic lens and you have something else, obviously you can just do energy siphon and just hope for the best and just keep on throwing down those pads. If you're a little bit nervous about it, I completely understand that. You can take off your power drift, which I don't really suggest, but you can, which is going to lower it down to 4 enemies affected. But what you can do is, oh, let me get out of that. Instead, you can throw down, oh, let me find it. It's over here somewhere. Well, it was over here if I can find it. Oh, there it is. I passed it. The co-creation drift. Yes, I said that wrong. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Now, what this is going to do is going to add your aura strength and your effectiveness. So if you're getting 0.6 energy rate, I don't know the math, but I would assume more energy, more faster. It just seems a little cuckoo to me. I mean, you can swap it out with cunning drift instead if you want, maybe, and then just throw down your power drift mod. And this is if you don't have Xeneric, you're playing with, you're helping out your own friends. I mean, you're going to lower that range to, like, what is that? 193, which is kind of low, but not that bad, to get a little bit more energy a little bit faster. Pretty much your call. That is kind of like a finagling that I don't really like to mess with, but it is what it is. But that's pretty much the Bastille build. I mean, I know briefly went over the Vortex, but I mean, that's so common, it really doesn't matter. But keep that energy dark if you're doing a Vortex build, and then do whatever you want for Bastille. And that's all for today. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I do have quite a few. Now, we do have the Spectre of the Rail update coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. We're talking major changes. So I'm not going to do very much recently because who knows, one of these builds might be obsolete in the next couple of weeks like everything else in this game. Alright guys, peace out. Have a good one.